From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening as greenbacks and also green beer are heating up. It's St. Patrick's Day. Good evening. And millions of Americans across the country received their $14 stimulus check today. Meantime, the Federal Reserve spoke about the interest rates across the country. The President of the United States reassures all Americans that they will get their stimulus check within 10 days of last Thursday. So did you get yours today? If you did not, it will likely land tomorrow by electronic receipt. I'll go over those details in a second. Meantime, the Federal Reserve left everyone on edge today, and those reactions will start hitting tomorrow. Elsewhere, big news from Ford about where the economy is going for working remotely. And Snap makes a major purchase that could impact how you shop online. From Wall Street to Main Street, from your stimulus check by direct deposit to paper check. I have all the big breaking details as Evenings LA rolls into St. Patrick's Day with some greenbacks, but maybe not some green beer. It's Evenings LA starting right now. Millions of Americans are awaiting the festivities. And for some, it's St. Patrick's Day. For others, it's a stimulus check. And for other people, it's both. Millions of Americans receive their direct deposit of their $1,400 stimulus check today on St. Patrick's Day. And if you were not among them, but were expecting it to land today, March 17th, don't worry, because it will likely land tomorrow, March 18th. Meantime, the president reassures the American public that everyone will get their stimulus check, whether it's direct deposit or paper check, between now and early next week. I have all the great details, and thank you for joining me on a big evening of Evenings LA. I'm wearing green, but you may not notice it. It's a very green shirt with white, but it may be coming out as all white on camera. So don't say I didn't wear green. I even have green chapstick. So how are you? It is a big evening. And if you're watching me coherent and not inebriated, I appreciate that. It's St. Patrick's Day, and that means a lot of green. Green for beer, green for stimulus checks, and green for the Federal Reserve. And boy, I have never seen a more jam-packed day than today. Let's get into all the details right now. But first, if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss a single minute across the board, whether you received the stimulus check today or didn't. There is a lot of other money that is still coming to you in the third stimulus package, and I don't want you to miss a second of all this delicious money. Also, if you've not liked this video, really like the video. It helps in the algorithm rankings. You've been doing really well. Let's shoot for 5,000, 6,000 likes per video at least. Also, if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. The link is at the top of the chat and also in the bottom of the video's description. What you need to know this evening is that you either got a stimulus check at the time of watching this recording or did not by direct deposit. So what should you think about that? Two things to think about. One, some direct deposits may still arrive in the next few minutes of the late evening, depending on if you're on the West Coast or the East Coast. But more will likely appear tomorrow. As I told you yesterday, the 17th and the 18th are the really key days of direct deposits. A lot of viewers started hitting social media with comments to me and direct messaging, Instagram and where not, early today saying my bank got them, my bank delivered their stimulus check. They said my bank, Bank America, delivered it overnight. So I got that message about Bank America customers from viewers of this channel on both Twitter and Instagram shortly before sunrise today, March 17th. So that was a very good repertoire, a very good indicator of what was to start throughout the day. Meantime, if you're watching this video and you did receive your stimulus check and could kindly share with viewers what bank you bank with, that would really help. If you're watching this live, drop in the comments, I received it, so-and-so bank, and other people would see that as an indicator. I've been doing that throughout the day because that's the best indicator for me, because there's a lot of banks in the country. And it didn't really matter so much if it's a commercial bank or a credit union, whether it's a big bank or an app bank. Chime, Cash App started to report the deposits last Friday and Saturday. More viewers started to receive the deposits on things like the Emerald card from H&R Block this last Monday. But today was the key day. Why? Because the IRS tracking tool was showing March 17th as an effective date, which means that that was the date they were indicating the deposit is available. Also, big banks were using that as a key date. But I'm addressing two type of viewers who are watching right now. Those who received it and those that didn't receive it. Those that received it, you're good. And guess what? Don't leave me, because I got $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 of other money in third stimulus that I still need to get you. So don't run for the high heels, because that money is coming and going faster than you can drink down that green beer. For the other viewers who did not receive the stimulus check, no concern, no worries, no stress level. There's two things that could be happening. One, that the direct deposit's happening tomorrow. Two, that the direct deposit's happening later this week. Or three, you're going by paper check. Now, this is a confusing message, but I'm going to go through it slowly. First, some direct deposits may not clear until March 18th. That's just very much the case. Some banks may hold them and release them on the 18th. Some may release them on the 17th. If you bank at a bank and you have not received your stimulus check and want to share the bank in the live chat, say, my bank this, no stimulus check. So other viewers will see if they have the same problem. That is the best indicator of whether it's not a personal problem to you, but just the way the bank's doing the business. Here's an example. If Bank of Hillary has not released the stimulus check today, the 17th, and I see 20 people saying, I bank at Bank of Hillary, none of us have got a stimulus check, that's a good indicator for all of us. But if I have 5 viewers who say, I got stimulus checks from Bank of Hillary, and one viewer says, I did not, well, not of a concern. Wait a day. But if you don't see it by the end of the week, that may start to be an indicator of the third parameter. The third parameter is the stimulus check may be coming by paper check. Now, this is a very strange notion to a lot of viewers, and I haven't been recording this message in a while, but I did record it in December. For reasons unclear, Treasury in December said to the second stimulus check that some people who are expecting direct deposits may get it by paper check. Why? Well, it's just sort of the notion of how they're doing things. For reasons we don't know, sometimes people are expecting paper checks, and IRS says, no, I'll send it by some people are expecting direct deposit, and IRS will say, no, I'm going to send it by paper checks. Here is the best message I can ever deliver to you. It's this message that was sent by the president yesterday. And his message is, don't worry, it's going to come in 10 days from when it became law. Now, this is very important because ultimately, while I'm talking to mostly direct deposit viewers so far in the first few minutes of this video, the president's message is for everyone, even the paper check viewers. And the message is very clear. 10 days from when it became law. That's 10 days from last Thursday. Now, you may watch the video and interpret it 10 days from when he recorded the video, but I don't interpret it that way. But if you want to err on conservative level, then maybe it is 10 days from when he recorded the video, which was yesterday. But I believe he's referring to 10 days when it became law, which means that everyone would get their stimulus check by the end of next week. Here is that video. Let's hear what he has to say in regards to the delivery.
We're going to reach 2 goals in the next 10 days. 100 million shots in people's arms. 100 million shots. And 100 million checks of $1,400 or more in people's pockets within the next 10 days. We're on the way. Help is on the way.
And there you go. That is the message from the White House, that viewers should not worry about stimulus. That ultimately the message is that money is coming and that money is available for you shortly. More about that in a second. But what I want to cover for you was the other breaking development. The breaking development across the board was also the FOMC meeting today. I'll be covering more about the delivery of your direct deposit stimulus check in a second. But I want to cut to is singularly the most important other news. And I got to tell you, this is not a small news story. This is a monstrous news story. This is the Federal Reserve's Chairman, Jerome Powell. Now, the video feed you're looking at is not from today. It's from January, when he delivered the same message in January. Every few months, he delivers the FOMC notes. And that two-day policy meeting started yesterday and concluded today. The big question was whether the Federal Reserve would change policies. There are three issues at hand: interest rates, buying bonds, and buying mortgages. This is important for you for the following reasons. All three instruments are stimulus. The Federal Reserve has been using a stimulus policy of buying things since the start of the pandemic. Would the Federal Reserve stop that stimulus buying, or would the Federal Reserve come back and say, no, we need a lot more to still be done? Going into the meeting today, I was predicting that the Federal Reserve would not change interest rates. Other analysts were also predicting would not change interest rates. And I was also predicting that the Federal Reserve may give GDP and inflation numbers much the same of what they've had before, but rather might ease on two factors: bond rate buying and mortgage buying. Now, what's important to understand is that the Federal Reserve, in approaching today's analysis, had to deal with yesterday's numbers. Yesterday, the retail sales from February came in and they were atrocious, meaning people did not have money to spend on retail sales. They actually dropped, showing less people spending less money in the month of February. Coming into today's meeting, the Bank of America, which actually had released everyone's stimulus checks this morning, said that today's meeting was one of the most critical events for the Federal Reserve in some time, and that Jerome Powell may not change interest rates, but may do other things. Goldman Sachs, going into today, said that the GDP growth of 7% for 1 year might be what the Federal Reserve may predict, and that unemployment would drop fast. I did not believe that. The Federal Reserve in December, which is the video you're watching right now, had predicted a 4.2% GDP growth and unemployment remaining at 5%, but with a 2% inflation. Well, that is where we are heading potentially. Analysts thought it was going to be interesting going into today's meeting if the Federal Reserve was going to raise interest rates or not. It's going to be interesting because you're going to have to upgrade GDP forecasts and interest rates to see where we're going. Wells Fargo says it's likely to be the Fed's first less big step in less accommodating directions moving forward. Meantime, let me go back to your stimulus check. What's important to understand is that your stimulus check remains a big issue for some people who may not have gotten it, and it may likely land tomorrow. What I've been detailing over the last few days is the IRS Track My Stimulus tool today may be singularly the most important, irrelevant document that ever existed. Why? Because today or tomorrow you may track your stimulus check at IRS.GOV, and it may say March 17th, and you're like, well, I haven't gotten anything on March 17th. What does that mean? Or it may say nothing. What does that mean? Much of nothing. But here's the important thing to know, is that the single most important indicator of whether you're getting your stimulus check or not is other customers who watch this channel. If they say they got their stimulus check, then you're likely to get your stimulus check as well. If they say they did not get their stimulus check, then you may not get yours as well. What about Direct Express card? What about its stimulus check? And what is Chuck Schumer saying about the stimulus checks as well? I'll have more about those details coming up in a second. But first, here's a little bit about the community page and how they can help you get money right now, not 5 days from now and not 5 weeks from now. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. It's a big day with exciting news across the board, as $1,400 third stimulus checks are landing in bank accounts today and more are landing tomorrow. Shortly before the landing of the stimulus checks, Chuck Schumer spoke to the two Democrats from Georgia and spoke about the importance of these stimulus checks arriving. Here's what they said about the arriving of the stimulus checks today.
To work alongside you and to be here just a few weeks and to see something really happen for the American people. And I certainly agree that this would not have happened without the people of Georgia. And so among the things in this plan, people are getting $1,400 checks right into their pockets, the earned income tax credit. And we know that when working people get relief, get support, they buy essential items like coats for their kids, food, medicine, baby diapers. That helps them and it helps the economy.
You bet. John?
I think that the child allowance, the child tax credit.
The question is whether they're correct. A new report actually said that that's actually what not young adults will do with their stimulus check today. A new report actually said that 45% of young adults may use their stimulus check to buy Bitcoin. Just don't spend it on green beer, please. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And please at least know what you're spending your stimulus check on, because I don't want you to wake up tomorrow and say, oh my God, what I spend my stimulus check on? I should never have gotten on St. Patrick's Day. How are you? Thank you for joining me on Evenings LALATE. The most important thing to know is that you are careful and cautious about your $14 stimulus check. One of the messages that I told viewers yesterday, and I told them throughout today and again tonight, is the following. If you have received your $14 stimulus check, please do the following. 1, do not withdraw it at an ATM. I fully believe that, well, first of all, I know a lot of my viewers are of advanced age. That's the first thing. Number 2, we certainly know that if you're going to an ATM to withdraw $1,400, it's going to be 14 $100 bills. It sticks out like a sore thumb. You could see it a block away. So it really is not a safe thing to do, to go to an ATM and withdraw publicly on a street corner $1,400 where pickpockets can see you. What I've been advising viewers, especially my elderly viewers, to go into the bank and ask the bank teller, hi, I want to withdraw $1,400 of my money. And if it's on a debit card or a Direct Express or any bank card or anything like that, they generally will withdraw it even if you're not a bank customer for free. But ask them ahead of time. And at most, the fee will be $10 or $5. And ask them for an envelope. Get all the money in an envelope. Don't ask for big bills. Ask for smaller bills, like $20 bills. Put it in the envelope and put it in your pocket. Don't do this on a street corner. I do not want any type of things badly coming to you. So if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also like this video. What you saw in that recording before this was a little bit disconcerting, because the two electorates from senators from Georgia seem to have great amnesia. They were elected upon the promise of $2,000 stimulus checks plus $1,400. They did not deliver that. Rather, they delivered a $14 stimulus check. And now the Democrats in the House and Senate say, you know what, $1,400 doesn't cut it. And the retail sales numbers from January says also it doesn't cut it. They also talked about the arrival of the earned income tax credit right away to American families. I guess they don't know taxes either, because the earned income tax credit, which is the hazard pay, the $1,500, does not arrive right away. It arrives next year. So not only are they not delivering true facts, but they also are not informing the public of how things work. What's important to understand is that IRS actually issued a major advisory in just the last few days that I continue to go back to, because it is very important to hear, that if you're missing a stimulus check, if you're worried about the $10,200 of unemployment, or you have anything you think you need to fix, do not file an amended tax return. The advisory from IRS, which was released on March 12th and delivered to members of this channel in a link, but you can also find at IRS.GOV, which you're looking at right now, says the IRS strongly urges taxpayers to not file amended returns related to new legislative provisions or to take unnecessary steps at this time. The IRS, for those who have received unemployment benefits last year and who have already filed tax returns, should not do anything and should not file an amended return at this time until IRS issues additional guidance. So when would your $1,400 stimulus check land if it didn't land today? It would likely land tomorrow. And what if it doesn't land tomorrow? It could still land in the next few days. But here's something else to know. If you think that there is something inherently going on that's incorrect, wrong, for example, you bank at a bank and your wife and your sister banks at the same bank. She got her stimulus check 3 days ago. You have not. And you both have direct deposit and you think there's something wrong. What I do believe that 55% of the chance, well, at least 50% of the chance of the time, is that your stimulus check is coming by paper. If you look at a situation where you know other people have gotten checks from that bank and you have not, and you're expecting direct deposit, even if you got the first or second stimulus check by direct deposit, it may come by paper. Why do I know this? Because I made this recording before. I made this recording before in December when, for reasons we don't know, people who had a direct deposit for the first stimulus check still have that bank account. It hasn't closed. It's still working. It's still crushing the deposits. Did not get a second stimulus check by direct deposit. It came by paper check. Why? IRS never explained to us why. And to this day, it continues to not explain to us why. So that is certainly what could be among the equations. Meantime, this is a really fascinating new report out today, which said that Ford Motor Company will now decide that some consumers, some of its employees can work from home. This is a big one. A majority of Ford's roughly 86,000 employees who have not yet returned to work now have the option to stay at home and work remotely in some hybrid capacity, said Ford in a new statement today. The nature of the work that we do really is going to be a guiding element. If there's one thing we've learned over the last 12 months is a lot of assumptions around work and what employees need has shifted. Also shifting is some delicious money. Here's Evan Siegel of Snap, the very popular social media platform, which this channel has continued to recommend as a major buy on its next dip as a key stock to watch. Today, Snap and Siegel made news by acquiring Fit Analytics, a Berlin company that helps consumers pick which clothing to buy. This was a statement by Fit Analytics today. Our main focus going forward will be to scale the Fit Analytics business with Snap to grow their shopping platform. Meantime, Dr. Fauci continues to reassure Americans that the vaccine is safe, but we could see another wave. That statement was made yesterday in a series of interviews and also in a recent interview as well.
The minority populations. It is, not just the idea of hesitancy, but the fact that we have been, and you've heard the president himself say very clearly that with the community vaccine centers, with the community health centers, with the pharmacies that we're giving vaccine to, particularly in areas where minorities are represented, as well as the mobile units that are going out. So we are right now being very actively in going out in a proactive way to make sure that any inequities that exist, we can then essentially eliminate them. And that will be one of the things that are now going forward, we're putting a lot of effort into.
Also heating up this last 24 hours was really the pitching of the American public of what is in the stimulus package. There is a national campaign underway with the president, the vice president's husband, and the first lady across the country telling the American public how quickly and how soon stimulus will land. Whether it is by talking about other issues and bringing it into the discussion or not. Here was a statement by the vice president yesterday about related issues.
Major growth in our economy. These are signs of progress. These are signs of strength. But friends, we cannot take this progress for granted, especially now. COVID-19 has threatened the economic security, the physical security, and the health of women everywhere. As women struggle to get the health care they need, the pandemic appears to be reversing the global gains we've made in the fight against HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, malnutrition, and maternal and child mortality. That's why, on the first day of our administration, the United States re-engaged as a member state and leader in the World Health Organization. And we are revitalizing our partnership with UN Women to help empower women worldwide. Here's the truth. When women face obstacles to obtaining quality health care, when women face food insecurity, when women are more likely to live in poverty and therefore disproportionately impacted by climate change, more vulnerable to gender-based violence and therefore disproportionately impacted by conflict, well, it's harder for women to fully participate in decision-making.
It's a big message that was delivered across the country, but also the message is when and where is stimulus landing? And millions of Americans wonder, if you didn't get it today, would you get it tomorrow? Yes. If you didn't get it tomorrow, would you still get it the day after? Yes. Ultimately, there may be a point at which you will certainly need to heed this advice, and this advice very carefully. Watch the mail. Watch the mail, because in second stimulus, I did have some viewers say, oh no, was that the envelope for the stimulus check? I threw it away. Now, you certainly can blame a lot of stuff on the alcohol, but tomorrow you'll be sober and you do not want to go to the mail and throw away a stimulus check if it lands tomorrow. This is what you need to know. Some people are expecting the direct deposit may ultimately default to paper check. And it may not be because the bank account has a problem. Let me say it even clearer. For reasons we don't know, the second stimulus check was sent by paper check to millions of Americans who had a perfectly fine direct deposit account. But for some reason, IRS decided to do it by paper check. But here's incredible great news, is that you and I are a family, and together I will be tracking the delivery of the paper check with you. While the President of the United States tells us 10 days, I'll be actually tracking it with you. So if you do receive a paper check, certainly drop in the comments of any of the live videos or send me a DM. I got a paper check today. And I will see and report the very first moment the paper checks start to land. If you're waiting for direct deposit, you may actually be going to paper check. And the great news is you won't have to wait for 3 weeks since it becomes law. Like the second stimulus, you may only have to wait 10 days, which would be the middle of next week. Wow, it's just a lot of stuff to know. And the other thing to know is that we're just a minute away from the massive fourth stimulus package. The president's willing to spend $3,000 a year for 18 years on children. So now Democrats say, well, if you're willing to spend that, then spend the money on reoccurring stimulus checks every month until we're out of this pandemic. That would be 6 months of about $2,000 a month, which is anywhere between $12,000 to $16,000. This is more money than hazard pay, more money than FPUC retro, and a lot more money, nearly 5 times the amount of SSI, SSDI, and Social Security and railroad benefits, $2,400. This would be for you. If you make less than $45,000, if you make less than $75,000, if you're on SSI, this would be for you. Suddenly, the White House wants to spend money and is in the mood to spend a lot of money. So this is not 2020. This is a different universe with a different mindset. And ultimately, the excitement is certainly underway. And you, as a community, need to push Purple Power. Together, we will go into the new day with the hope and optimism that more direct deposit of stimulus checks will be landing tomorrow as well. Join me next on Hazard Pay, which is at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's coming up right after this video in about 90 minutes. It's a chatorama. It's a lot of fun with a lot of people in a live chat. And tonight, maybe they just are a little bit more loose, a little bit more, how would you say it? well drunk. So, you know, it's when people have inhibitions down that they're willing to really say what they think about hazard pay. Join me next as hazard pay kicks up. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And please stay safe. It's St. Patrick's Day. And ultimately, stay calm, stay focused, stay inspired, and stay of LA for more.